Welcome all of you to Animaths. In today's video, we shall be doing division of decimals. Okay, so we shall be learning to divide one decimal number with another decimal number, and we shall also be dividing a decimal number with 10, with 100, or with 1000, or with other powers of 10. Okay, so division of decimals sometimes seems to be very difficult to the students. Let me see how we can simplify it. Okay, then, so whenever we have a decimal divided by, let's say we'll first take up a decimal divided by a 10. Okay, now let me take this number 1.316. This is a decimal number which has to be divided by 10. Okay, if it is a decimal number which has to be divided by 10, then we have to, I've seen many of my students do this. They will just, they will divide in the proper division way. They'll put the 10 outside like you divide regular numbers. But then there's a very easy shortcut for this. Okay, all we have to do is, you don't need to divide like that. All you have to do is note how many zeros how many zeros there is. So 10 has 1 0. Okay, so if you are dividing, remember the point will shift to the left. If the point shifts to the left, the point will shift as many places as there are number of zeros. If there's 1 0 here, the decimal point will shift one place to the left. Okay, so in that case we are going to write it as this. The point comes here, it has shifted one place to the left, and put a 0 here. Because at the beginning, if the point has come right at the beginning of the number, we are supposed to put a 0, which means that the whole number is a 0. Okay, the entire part is a decimal. So this is how we divide a decimal number with a 10. Okay, let me quickly take another one so that you get a better idea. This divided by 10. Now if I do this, this is again going to come one place to the left. So this is my answer. As simple as that. Now we are going to take up a number which is divided by 100. Okay, so instead of changing the question, let me change this question itself to 100. Okay, so now instead of 10, I shall be dividing this number with 100. Now what to do? Okay, so if I have to divide with 100, then the point, there are two zeros. So the point takes two jumps, and instead of here, okay, that is over here was for one jump, it takes two jumps and it comes here. Okay, so this is my number now if I divide it with 100. Okay, similarly this one. Now what happens when I am dividing this number with 100? I have to give it two jumps. One jump it crossed the 1, and another jump it will cross. Now what will it cross? It doesn't have a digit over there, so we'll have to put a 0 there just to make space for it to jump one more place, and this is my number then. So 0.01316, that is my new number. Okay, so this is how we can divide a number by a 10 or 100. Now let us take up another number where we divide it by 1000. Let us take 4.6 divided by 1000. Okay, now what do we do? Here there are three zeros. So this point has to come three places, that is, it has to jump three jumps to the left. Now one jump, it has a digit for it, but then what does she do? What does it do for the other two jumps? Okay, so what to do now? It is, you have to make space of it for it using zeros. So put the 6, put the 4, and then with 4 one place has been given, put a 0 and put another 0. As you put two more zeros here. Okay, so this is 0.0046. 3 digits it got to jump and come to the left. Remember one thing, with division the point jumps to the left, okay. With multiplication the point will jump to the right, okay. So let me take another question where it will be divided by an x. Let me take a whole number, where you can't even see the point, okay. So let me take then 25 divided by 1000. Now what do I do for this? Okay, you just can't see the point, but there is a point. For a whole number, the point is hidden after the number. Okay, so we don't need to write the decimal point because it's a whole number. Okay, so here the decimal point is hidden, we have to understand that, and it will come 3 places to the left now. One place it will cross the 5, another place it will cross the 2, and the third place we are going to make for it, which is going to be 0.025. okay, so now it has jumped 3 places clearly. Let us take another number where it will be divided with 1000. 1286.5. 1286.5 divided by 1000. Okay, now this number has a decimal point. Let's see what we can do about this. This is 3 digits here, okay, 3 zeros here, okay. So the very first thing we need to note is how many zeros it has. Accordingly we'll decide how many jumps it is going to take. Now the point has to come 3 places to the left, so this number was good enough for that. It had all the number of digits, so this is my division. As simple as that. Why I am doing this video is because I have seen even 10th standard students who who actually waste a lot of time, doing this kind of sums in rough, and they use up quite a lot of their time in this kind of rough work. That should be avoided, and as soon as possible, now that you have learnt it, you should not ever do long divisions for this kind of a division. That is, whenever a number is being divided with this, now you have clearly understood this applies for decimal numbers as well as non-decimal numbers. You can apply it everywhere. So if you are coming across any such question where you have to divide a number with a power of 10, that is 10, 100, 1000 or even more, okay. So if you have 4 zeros, you shift 4 places. So if you have like that, you must apply this method and not do a long division. Let me now take up division of a number with a decimal number with a whole number. Okay, that is going to be simpler. So 43.2 divided by 6. Now this one we can do a shortcut one, that is just by writing this 6 under this, we can do it, okay. Or we can even go for the long method. Let me go for the long method because that explains the thing better to you. 6. Okay, this is like, you have been doing divisions like this from your childhood. So 6 doesn't go in 4, so 6 into 7 is a 42. This much is like a regular division, okay. 1 comes down, and then this point is simply copied here, okay. This point, this decimal is simply copied here, and then you have to bring down this 2 also. 6 twos is a 6 twos is a 12, okay. So the answer is here 7.2. Let's take up another one where again we are going to take a decimal number and divide it by a regular number, okay. That is a non-decimal number. 60.48 divided by 12. 12 into 5 is a 60. Just copy this point, that's all. Okay, copy this point, bring the 4 down, it's 12 is not going in the 4, put a 0 for that. If it is not going in this number, put a 0 and then put bring the 8 down. Okay, then it is 12 fours are 48 over. This is my answer. Remember, this is always the answer. Okay, now here is if you have something like, say, I'll teach you a shortcut here, 16.46. Here, 16.46 divided by 20. Okay, now what to do about this? We can actually divide by a 10 because this 20 means 2 into 10. So first we will, this is 16.46 divided by 2 into 10. So what we'll do is, we'll first divide with the 10 and get an answer. Okay, so it is going to make it very simple. So it is 1.646. Remember, this is the exact method that I taught you before this. So 1.646 and by the 2 now. Okay, you can go for a long division if you want, or you can even divide it straight here. That is, you simply copy the point and then write the 8, that is because of 16, 8. Then for the 4 you take a 2 and for the 6 you take a 3. Put a 0 here at the beginning. That is it. This is the answer of your division. Now comes the most important thing. How do we divide a decimal number with another decimal number? Okay, so say it is 3.28 divided by 0.8. Now see the difference clearly. A decimal is being divided by another decimal. Now most of the times students are very confused, but there's one simple method here, which is 3.28 divided by 0.8. Now remember one thing, in this one, divided by, the number which is dividing this, in other words, the one which is after the division sign, okay, the divisor, should never have a decimal. You should try and remove that decimal. Now what to do? This one can have a decimal, but this cannot have a decimal. If you can remove that decimal, your job is done. So here you have to, if I multiply, this has practically become a fraction now. So if I multiply with a 10 here, just to remove the decimal, now I can't do that with any number. Suddenly, I just multiply the denominator with a 10, that means I have changed the number. Okay, I just can't do it. I have to multiply the numerator also with a 10. Okay, because then I don't change the fraction. So to balance it, I have to multiply with a 10 in the numerator as well. But then in the process, what I have done is, I have removed the decimal from here and converted it to a regular whole number. So 32.8 on multiplying with this 10, and this is an 8. Yeah. Okay. Now I am free to divide it. I can go for a long division for it, or I can even, these are not decimals, okay, I can go for a long division with it, or I can even just divide it over here. So 8 into 4 is a 32 and 0.1. That is my answer. So what I want to tell you is, it is better to learn this kind of dividing it from here itself, right from now, because when you try to do it in a separate column, in your rough column and all that, it takes up a lot of time. So why not learn to do it? It becomes a practice, and your speed in maths improves. Okay, now let me take another number, 0.288 divided by 0.288 divided by 0.9. Okay, same problem again. So what we'll do? 0.288 and 0.9, remove the point, multiply with a 10 up and down. Okay, when you have multiplied with a 10 up and down, it is how much now? Now it is 2.88 and then it is 9. Yeah. So below in the denominator, the point has been completely removed. Okay, and that is exactly what we want. So remember, sometimes in some sums you might even have to multiply with a 100 or even 1,000. Supposing this is, this is 92. Okay, then you need 100 here and not a and 100 here. You can't manage with a 10. Okay, so now write the point. This is a 3, that makes it a 27. 182. 0.32 is my answer. Okay, next one, let me take some number where you have, yes. Okay, so here is the sum. It goes like this: 0.8085. 0.8085 divided by this is 0.35. 0.35. Now what do you do here? You have to multiply with 100 up and down to get this out of decimals completely. Okay, so I have to, if I've given 100 here, I have to give it here also, otherwise when I change the question itself, which is wrong. Now I get 80.85 by a 35. Okay, now does it go by a 7? I'm just checking if it goes by a 7 or not. Anyways, it's going to cancel. If you don't want to cancel, you can even do a long division for this. Yes, it goes by a 7. 7 fives is a 35, and 7 into 11 is a 77 and 38. Put the point here, and then 7 fives is a 35, and again 7 fives is a 35. So I have something like this now. Okay, in the beginning you'll have some trouble doing it, but later on this is going to happen very smoothly with practice. Now here this definitely goes by 5. 5 2s are 10, and put the point, put a 3 here. Okay, and then put a 1. So 2.31 is your answer without any long division. You have to slowly learn to do this. Okay. Okay, then that's it for today. You have to practice this particular. I have done all the possible types of decimal divisions. Okay, any decimal division you come across, you will see is one of these types. So you can now do the sums from your exercise. Of course, it needs a lot of practice. That's it for today. So if you have liked my video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye all of you.